It's red poppy season for us too, by the way, but I also have a white one. Da-na-na! So, as you may or may not know, I just got back from Amsterdam. We went on like a short family holiday for 3 days, and I brought back a pin, and these are some magnets that all fit together into tall, narrow buildings, like these ones here that I'm zooming in on. And saw the Rembrandt Museum. I watched through the entirety of it. My mom and my nana both got too tired near the end and didn't do the interactive parts of the exhibit, but we, all three of us, walked through every room of the house and we did the whole like paint mixing demonstration. So it was just phenomenal. Learning so much more about him. I had only heard of him briefly before I went. I really, really wanted to go to the Anne Frank house, and so we got up early and like clicked to buy tickets at like the last second, like for their online ticket queue thing, because we didn't know that most of the tickets you need to get them like 2 months in advance. And the queue said we had like 700 people in front of us, but we waited anyway. And we got all the way down to the end, and there were 3 tickets left, but then their website glitched while we were eating breakfast, so we didn't get it. And that was sucky, but it was okay. And they were all individual tickets at different times, so we wouldn't have been able to go together. So it also would have been like tough in that regard because each one of us would have had to do it separately. But thankfully, it's only a 15-minute tour, so we would have been fine with that just to get to see it. But you know, that was a bummer, but it worked out. Also, my phone ran out of video space because it decided to automatically update, even though I cleared like 2,000 photos off of it before I went on this trip. So I don't have a ton of videos because I had to move them off my phone onto a flash drive midway through to make sure I could still take pictures. And then my phone wouldn't let me take new videos. It would only let me take pictures, which was frustrating. So only 3 videos survived because of their length. They were very, very short. They were the shortest 3. So I have those here that I'm about to play for you, but they are not very spectacular. So hopefully I will have more Amsterdam footage very soon.
That's it, Palace of Justice. A duck.
Lovely. So right now you're looking at my string lights. The reason why I haven't shown my face yet in this video is twofold. I have a lot of zits right now, but that's not the reason. And I cut off a dramatic amount of hair on Tuesday. And so I just took a shower, so you can't tell because I have a towel on my head. But I cut off between 17 and 19 inches because she didn't measure it. And this is the shortest hair I've had since I was 10. I had short hair my junior year of high school where I had like a mid, like it was about here-ish. Not quite chin length, not quite shoulder. It's like a mid-neck, I think, length bob. And that was okay, but I grew it out. And the last time I had hair this short was when I had like, it was like the bottom of my ear length. I had a bowl cut. It was really, really bad. And I had a chin length bowl cut for a while. So right now I got a bob that is just a hair shorter than chin length. So it's right in that range of the shortest hair I've ever had. And I didn't think about it at the time because at the time I walked in there and I was like, all right, I need a dramatic change haircut. Can I get a buzz cut with it kind of long on the top? And the lady is like, you have multiple feet of hair. If you really want to do that, we'll go there. But I think it's a bad idea. Sounds like you're going through something or just need a change. So we're going to work our way up and like cut off a big chunk and then kind of like slowly inch our way up as you feel like. And so we got to the point that it's at, and I'm like, you know, I feel like that's good. It's a dramatic haircut, and it's what I needed. Because It was about a little more than halfway down my back, and it was getting hard to manage because just tying it in a bun was so heavy and so big that I like couldn't sit back all the way in chairs, and it was like always giving me a headache. To the point that like right walking out of the haircut, I got a headache from the release of tension from how much weight was taken off my neck. Like I had neck and headache pains from not having all that hair weight there, which was like, it hurt, but it was like, it hurt in a good kind of way because it felt so good to be free and to be like able to touch the back of my neck without like having to struggle. So that was very good. And it feels like way easier to shower and like wear hats and scarves and things because I'm not tucking tons of hair in the back or like always spinning it into buns in the morning. Showers are way quicker because I don't have to spend so much time washing it or making sure I get everywhere. It's just like, boom, boom, done. It dries so much easier, but I still like to wear a towel on my head because it's cozy. Keeps it from dripping on my neck. But with like long hair I couldn't, but now that it's short I can just kind of flip my head upside down, rub a towel across it, and it's pretty much good. Also, it's fluffier, like significantly wavier and fluffier, because I guess I forgot how much like volume I have because it was getting all pulled down from like how long it was. So, I will eventually, I know I'm like talking about it a ton, I will eventually show off this haircut, but my hair's wet right now because I took a shower, and I don't want to like reveal it when my hair's wet and not like very good. And I took photos of it so I can show you, but I can't. Sharing photos on iMovie, which is what I've been using to make these, has been a disaster, so I will not do that. But I did that on Tuesday. I wanted to do it on Monday, but the place that I chose, I chose it for two reasons. It's only like 3 blocks from where I live, and it's very, very cheap. So they were totally like booked up Monday, but they had 2 slots open on Tuesday. So that's when I went after class, and I had to get a couple of my friends to psych me up. I was like, guys, I'm gonna chicken out. I'm not gonna go, or I'm just gonna get like 2 inches off. Like, you have to make me do it. You gotta make me do it, guys. I want to do it. Because having long hair has felt like kind of performative for the last like month or so, because it's been increasingly uncomfortable, like physically, and like, I don't know, it's felt like less and less of what I want and more of like, oh, I like this because I think it looks good on me, or because I think other people think it looks good on me, or whatever, and that's not a great reason to be doing something. So I was like, okay, if it was independent of what I thought, like, aesthetically I really enjoyed, and independent of what I thought other people would like, what would I do? And I'm like, I'd go short. I'd change it up. So I'm really glad that I did. It's been pretty freeing and makes me feel like doing more hair experimentation. But I know that I shouldn't, because if I do, people will think that I'm definitely going through something. Maybe I am. Who knows? But, no, it's just been really good, so I'm excited about that. And to give a bit more detail to what I had mentioned earlier, my family came to visit me, my mom and my Nana, on Thursday. They came on Thursday. And we went to Holland. We went to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And I should also clarify, because sometimes people use Holland as a slang term for the whole country. Netherlands, the country, Amsterdam, the city. You probably know this, but I don't know. Maybe people who are watching don't. And then Kara accidentally closed her camera. What I was saying was, I thought it was kind of an important distinction to make, just because I've heard people mess it up here in the UK, especially when people are talking about the Netherlands. So I wanted to get that right. the flights there were like super easy and super fine, but the flight back, even though it had less turbulence, I got more motion sick because of course I did. So I'm still like slightly queasy because this was like just a couple of hours ago that we got back to Scotland, but I am feeling good. It was so nice, like walking through the airport in Scotland, like knowing where everything was, and seeing the sign that's like, "Hey, Steve, back," and being like, "Yes, I'm so glad to be home." And then I was like, "Oh, home." Weird that my concept of where home is always ever changing because while I'm here, it's felt like Scotland, but it also simultaneously feels like back home when I'm talking about America, or when I'm at Colby, talking about Colby as home, or talking about like the mid coast where I grew up as home, or like visiting family down in Massachusetts as home. So it's just really cool, I think, that I have a lot of different homey places and people in my life. Speaking of which, I've been super nervous about going, like, housing back at Colby because Colby's housing draw is complicated even though it's named Simplicity. And I don't know if there is a better alternative because I can't propose one, so I feel bad for complaining about it. But Simplicity can be complicated and frustrating at times, and on top of that, housing is always complicated and frustrating to a degree. So I was worried about coming back when campus is over enrolled and just dealing with moving in January and not being sure if, how I would acclimate to a campus climate when I've been away for a whole semester, if people have forgotten about me, all that. But one of my really good friends reached out today and was asking me to room with them, so I am really, really thrilled because now I don't have to worry so much about feeling out of place, I think, and kind of feel like I have something to return to and like a place to feel wanted, so I'm really excited about that. Speaking of which, it made me super happy when you said that Sadie wanted to say hi. So, hi Sadie! We should hang out at some point. Please drop me a message. You know where to find me. One last story I forgot to tell. So, when I was showing some of my friends back home, I didn't tell them what I was going to do. I was just like, "Hey guys, I have some news for later today," when I was going to get the haircut. And when I came out, I was like, "Here's the news," and I showed them, and people were shocked because I've had long hair for forever. And, like, just today, Manny sent a picture of himself with the like, Colby mascot to the group, and his hair is, like, so long, and so it felt like such a deja vu moment, because just a couple days prior, he had essentially said the same thing to me, which was, "Whoa, your hair!" And now it was the same in reverse. And it feels like we've switched, because now I have short hair and he has long. And this also just kind of, like, having short hair in general, feels like very reminiscent of the past to me. Especially when I haven't lived like alone in years because I've had roommates in college, so it feels like going back in time in that respect too. And just like a lot of the things I've been stressed about recently have reminded me of early high school, and I've started writing poetry again and performing again, which is something I haven't done in years, so that has also been a tie. And it's the end of the decade, and weirdly enough, the last time I had short hair was between 2010 and 2012, which was the very, like, start of the decade, and now it's the very end. So if you looked at pictures of me at the start of the decade and at the end of the decade and didn't know, it would look like I had consistently had short hair, even though that's not true, and I spent almost the entirety of the decade with really long, usually tied back blonde hair. So it's super weird and interesting to think how, in some ways, if you just saw the end picture and the beginning picture with, like, any of these things I've talked about, how it would look super continuous, when in reality, it's been anything but. It's been a start point and then all over the place and eventually ending up in the same place that we started, in a weird almost cyclicity or poetic finish, or maybe it's some kind of a farce. Who knows? I enjoy it. But that was on my mind when I was in the shower, and I forgot to record it, but I thought about it as soon as I finished, so this is my epilogue. Bye for real.